Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'd like to show you how to make these mittens. These mittens will be a part of the set for the hat and for the cowl. To give you an idea for the size of the mitten, I'm gonna show you how big is that. So that's about 13.5 centimeters long. Here it's about 7 centimeters. The rib is 5 centimeters. And here that's about 9 centimeters. Also for the thumb, so here you can see the size from this point to the tip. That's about 3 centimeters. And altogether that's about 7. For the materials, I was using 100% extra fine merino wool. It's Lanagata Maxi Soft, made in Italy. The color is here, you can see the number. And here I have a ball of 50 grams and I have there 90 meters. And if you're curious about other details, here you can see them on the screen. I was using circular needles, 4.5 millimeters or US number 7. Crochet hook, needle and scissors to help me with the ends, to hide them and to cut them. I will also need a stitch holder and 1 or 2 markers. First, I want to give you a short review of how I was knitting that. Where did I start? What patterns did I use? So the cast on is stretchy. It's a stretchy cast on, as you can see. That's how it looks. Then I made rib stitch 1-on-1. For the main part, it's garter stitch and stockinette for the thumb. I started from this side and I knitted to the tip. Mittens are knitted in the rounds, so there are no sewing and there are no any seams. Even though this part might look like a seam, but it's not. It's just changes of knits and purls. Both mittens are exactly the same. The only difference that it's mirrored. So the part where I made increases, that's gonna be a little different from one mitten and another one. Other than that, everything else is exactly the same. To begin with the knitting, I have to cast on 31 loops on my circular needles. I don't need a long tail for this technique as I'm using stretchy cast on. The first loop I will make like that. Now I will be using only the long tail that goes to the ball to continue with casting on. Wrapping the yarn over the thumb in this way, going with the needle, grabbing the yarn and making the loop like that, and going in between those threads, making the loop and releasing that. That's not the easiest way to cast on, however, it looks so nice that I use this technique for casting on. Again, wrapping the yarn over the thumb, going with the yarn like that, grabbing the yarn, again, I will continue with casting on until I have 31 loops on my needle. The casting on is done, and now I can divide the loops in two parts and split them on my needles. On one needle I'm gonna have 16 loops, on the other one 15. I will place the marker so you can see where I made the split. So on this side where I have short tail, I have 15 loops, and on this side with the long tail that goes to the ball, I have 16 loops. Now gently pulling all loops on the lace and pulling the lace in this way. Just making sure that our loops are not twisted. Now I can join my knitting in round and start knitting. I have an extra loop and I have to place it on this needle. So taking this loop, placing it on this needle, and I will go with this loop over the one that I have on this side. Taking this loop off and placing this one back. I will pull the long end of the yarn, and I will tie this loop on the knitting. In this way I will make the joining. Now I have 15 loops on each needle. To start the knitting, I will pull this needle. All the loops gonna stay on the lace, and I will start knitting the rib stitch. The first row is our setup row. So one knit, one purl. Making all the knits, taking them by the front half of the stitch, and regular purls. Now I can remove stitch marker. setup row is done, and now I will continue with the rib stitch for 14 more rounds. I will always be starting with the knit and finishing with purl. That's my beginning of the knitting. I can see that because here I have the short tail from casting on. I will show you now how I'm gonna be knitting all purls in the knitting to get these nice stitches. So knits, I'm gonna be knitting, taking them by the front half of the stitch as usual, but for the purls I will go for the yarn and for the loop. Then I'm gonna place the yarn in between the needles and finish the loop. Regular knit and again the purl. Go into the loop, placing yarn in between and finishing. And one more time. Go into the loop, then placing the yarn in between the needles and finishing the loop. Two rounds done. I have to make 13 more rounds with the rib stitch. In total, I will have 15 rounds with the rib stitch, and I will meet you when I have all them done. 15 rounds of the rib stitch are done. In the round 16, I'm gonna start making increases for the sum. I have 15 loops on each of the needles. This is the beginning of my knitting. I have short tail here. I'm starting with the knit and finishing with the knit as well. I still would like to have 15 loops on each side, but for increases that I'm gonna make now, I have to make a little rearrangement. I'm just simply move this loop to this needle, and this one I'm gonna move to this. In that way, my 15th loop's going to be not the knit, but the purl. To make that, I'm just simply knit this one loop, put them to this needle, and I will take the loop from this one and move them here. That's just simple rearrangement to help me with my increases. I still have 15 loops on each side of the needle, and it doesn't make much of a difference. That's just for easier way to work in circle on circular needles. So I'm starting with row 16. For that, I have to knit first 15 purls. That's also the first round where I'm gonna make increases. I will place the marker just to see where I started with my increases. And that's the loop where I'm gonna make it. So first I'm gonna make an increase, and then I'm gonna knit this loop. I will place this loop on the needle and knit it. Now I can continue with this loop, and this loop I will purl. One increase is done, and I will continue with 14 more purls. I am knitting garter stitch in rounds, that's why I have to switch between purls and knits for each round. Previous one was all purls and increase, and the next one going to be knits. I'm not gonna make any increases when I make knits in the rounds. 15 knits. I will knit this one increase that I made in previous round, and I will move my marker here. So in the next row, I know that from this next loop, I will make an increase. And 15 more knits. Round number 18, all purls with increase. 15 purls. One knit. That's our increase from previous round. I will remove the marker, and I know that here I have to make another increase. It's going to be our second increase in this knitting. I will pick up the loop from previous round, place it on the needle and knit it with a knit. That's our second increase. I will place our marker back. Next 15 loops I will purl. All knits in the next round, which is round number 19. 15 knits, 2 knits for the thumb, our increases, and 15 other knits. Knit 2 increases. No increases in this round, just slip in our stitch marker and continue with 15 knits. Round number 20, 15 purls, 2 knits, 1 increase, and 15 purls. Two knits, 1, 2, removing the marker and making an increase, taking the loop from previous round, placing it on the needle and knitting it, placing back our marker, continue with 15 purls. making all knits in round 21. Round 22, where we make our increase. So making 15 purls, 3 knits, 1 increase, and another 15 purls. Three knits. Those are our increases. Removing the marker, making 1 increase from this loop from previous round. Now we have 4 increases done. Placing back our marker and continue with 15 purls. In the round 23, I'm gonna make all knits, including 15 that I have on this needle, 4 that were made from increases, and 15 other ones. In every second row, I'm gonna have to continue making increases until I have 8 increases in total done. Row number 30 will be my last one with increases. I will meet you when I'm gonna be done with all 30 rounds and all 8 increases done. And in row 31, I'm gonna show you how to continue with the knitting and finish the base of our mitten. I finished the row number 30 and I'm done with the increases as well. Here you can see how they were made on this side. In this very first row from this part, I have 8 loops, and that's our increases. That's our 8 loops for the thumb. I will remove the marker because I can see them clearly here, all the loops. In the round 31, I will continue knitting in rounds, and I will join this part with this one. That's gonna be our main part for the mitten. And I will place on hold these 8 loops, which I'm gonna knit a little later, starting with 15 knits in this part. It's time to take those 8 loops aside. Some scrap yarn can be used for that, or just a holder for the loops. I will use the holder this time. Making sure that I have 8 loops. And continue knitting those 15 loops with knits. The only thing that I have to do is just to make it a little tight, so there won't be a big hole here. So I'm making it a little tighter. I'm knitting this loop a little tight, but not too much. In the next 19 rounds, I have to continue with the garter stitch in the round to make the main part of the mitten. I will continue switching between row of purls and row of knits. And my last row where I'm gonna make all 15 purls on each side, that's gonna be row number 50. After that, I'm gonna start making decreases. I will meet you when I will be done with the row number 50. I just finished round number 50 and ready to start making decreases. Round 51 is the round where I will be making all knits and making decreases. First loop I'm gonna knit, then I'm gonna make one decrease. In the middle I will knit 9 loops, make another decrease and knit another one. On the other side I will do the same. So 1 knit, decrease, 9 knits, decrease and 1 knit. I will continue making decreases in every row until I have 10 loops on my needles. The last row with decreases will be row number 55. Let's start with the decreases. Knitting first loop. My first decrease I will make just knitting these 2 loops together. Nine knits in between. For this decrease I have to rearrange my loops a little bit. So I will take this one on the needle without knitting it. Second one, I will place them back facing this way, and I will knit them taking them by the front half of the loops like that. And another knit. Same decreases on this side as well. Knitting 1, making 1 decrease, knitting those 2 loops together, 9 loops, knitting, another decrease and a little rearrangement with the loops. And another knit. Round number 52 and another set of decreases. I will be making 4 decreases in this round as well, 2 on this side and 2 on the other one. This is round with purls. Starting with 1 purl. Here I have to make the decrease and I have to rearrange my loops a little bit for that. So I will take this loop like that, this one like that as well, bring them back. I will knit them with purl, but in this way. So I will go with the needle behind my yarn, go to these 2 loops, take them together, place my yarn in between the needles and finish the loop like that. Now I can release those loops. 7 purls. Another decrease. For this one I don't have to make any arrangement with the loops. I will simply knit them together. And another purl. Same decreases on this side. 1 purl, 1 decrease, and rearranging the loops for that. And again, putting the needle behind the yarn, go into these loops like that, placing the yarn in between the needles, and finishing the loop, releasing the loops. 7 purls. Another decrease without any rearrangements. And 1 purl. Round 53. The round with knits. 1 knit, 1 decrease, knitting 2 loops together, 5 knits, another decrease, and a little rearrangement for that. And 1 knit. Same decreases on this side. One knit, 2 loops together, 5 knits, another decrease, and 1 knit. Round 54. 1 purl, 1 decrease, 3 purls, 1 decrease, and 1 purl. Same decreases on this side. 1 purl, 1 decrease, three purls, and 1 decrease, and 1 purl. Round 55 is our last round. 1 knit, 1 decrease, knitting 2 loops together, 1 knit, 1 decrease, one knit. Same on this side. 1 knit, 1 decrease, 1 knit, 1 decrease, and 1 knit. Only 10 loops left in the knitting. Now I can cut the yarn and finish the knitting. I will need the needle for that. I will go to this needle first and take the loops one by one. I will go a few more times with my needle through these loops and just make sure that it's tight and secured. Now I will place the needle in the middle and take the yarn from the other side. When I will be done with the knitting, I will weave it in the knitting and cut the rest of the yarn. Now that's time to finish this part, and first I'm gonna place the loops on the needles. I will find the middle here, so 4 loops on each side. I have to pick up 2 loops on this needle and 2 on this one to get rid of the extra space that was created here when we joined our knitting, our main part, in a round. So first I'm gonna find the extra string and extra space and put those loops on this needle. I will take this one and the one right here. And on this part as well. I will start with my first round, and first I have to knit those 2 loops together, and I have to make the decrease. Before that, I just want to make sure that those loops are twisted. I'm doing that just to get rid of that extra space, so there wouldn't be any holes in here. So that was our first decrease. Now I have to continue with 4 knits. Go into the other side, tighten it this side a little bit. 4 knits. Now again I have to make the decrease and to make sure that those extra loops are twisted before I knit them. And now I will knit them together. After that, on each side I have 5 loops, and I have to continue knitting them. From the row number 2 to the row number 8, I will have to make all knits in rounds. So for the next 6 rounds, I will be knitting 10 loops in each round. I will meet you when I finish round number 8. 8 rounds are done, and in the round number 9 I have to make decreases. I will be knitting together these 2 loops, then another decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decreases. So these 2 loops together, it's gonna be 1 decrease, second, decrease number 3, number 4, and the last one, 5th one. Now I can cut the yarn and fasten these 5 loops. I will use the needle for that. I will take the loops one by one and place them on the sewing needle. And tied it. I will go a few more times through the loops just to secure them and just to make sure it's tight enough. Now I can put this yarn inside and wave the ends. Making sure that there is no extra holes. All looking good. So tighten this side a little bit. I will place it inside as well and wave the ends on the other side. One mitten is done. And the only thing that I have to do is just to wave the ends. Now I want to show you how I wave the ends. I split the yarn in 2 parts and I wave them separately. Now I will go through the yarn and cut the yarn. I will do the same with this end of the yarn too. and cut the yarn now. I will weave all the ends in the same way. Now I will show you how to make exactly the same one, just with the mirrored thumb. The only difference going to be that's how we making our increases. Till the row 16, all the steps for knitting the other mitten are exactly the same as for the mitten number 1. I already cast on and knitted 15 rounds with a rib stitch. On one needle I have 15 loops, on the other one as well I have 15 loops. I will be making all increases in this very last loop. In the first one, we were making in the first loop on one of the sides. This time I will be making all increases after I knitted all 15 loops, and in the last loop after that I will make an increase. So let me show how I will be making increases for the other mitten. I will use a marker to show you where I'm starting with the increases, so it's easier to see them. Here I'm going to be knitting a row number 16, where I have to make 15 purls. I made 15 purls in this 16 row, and now after that I will make an increase. So I have to find the last loop from previous round. That's gonna be this one, and I will knit it. So I already took it on the needle, and I will simply knit it. That's where I started making my increases. I will place the marker there, so it's easier to see where was my first increase. And I will place this increase back on the needle. Turning the work and finishing with 15 purls. All knits in a row number 17, including the one increase that we just made. "15 knits, and one more knit, which is our increase. Turning the work to the other side and continue with 15 more knits. Row number 18 and another increase. First we have to purl 15 loops. Now I have to pick up the loop from previous round and just knit it. That's gonna be my second increase. And another knit. That was my first increase. Now I will place the marker back and put the loops back as well. So as you can see, increases growing on this side and they go in forward the left. Where on the other mitten, all the increases were done here and they were facing the right side. Finishing the round number 18 with 15 pearls. All knits in the round number 19, including the 2 extra loops that were created with increases. 15 loops first. Marker. And knitting these 2 loops. On the other side, 15 more knits. Increase number 3 in the round 20. Starting with 15 pearls. And now another increase. That's going to be increase number 3. So I will take the loop from previous round and knit it. I will knit these 2 loops as well. Now we have made 3 increases. 15 pearls on the other side. All knits in the round number 21. 15 knits, 3 increases, and another 15 knits. Three knits. And 15 knits on the other side. Row 22 and another increase. 15 pearls, 1 increase, and 3 knits, and 15 pearls. So just placing the marker and making 1 increase. And 3 knits. Finishing with 15 pearls. I will continue with the same way of making increases until I have 8 loops on my needle made from increases. So overall, there are gonna be 8 increases and 8 knits over here. 30 rounds for this mitten are done. I completed all increases. I have here additional 8 loops, and in the next round I will join the knitting for the main part, and I will put those 8 loops separately so I can finish them later. All the other steps and guidance for the mitten are exactly the same as for the mitten number 1. The only difference was with making increases. As you can see, now mitten is going to be mirrored. So we have increases made on this mitten that are facing right, and increases on this mitten are facing left. And here are exactly the same mittens. The only difference are increases. Now I will wash those mittens, dry them, and they will be good to go. They will certainly keep hands of my little one toasty. I will include the link to the written instructions for these mittens in the description below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.